Hey guys, and welcome. This will be my first video on Bayonetta and banning her. I'm Pudge. I'm the TO for Smash 4 in Melbourne. So that means I help with all the weeklies, and I host the Smash at Swanston weeklies and the Couch Rose monthlies, and I help around with a few other things. And so it's down to me for Melbourne, me, Attila, and Ignis, to decide whether to ban Bayonetta or to let her stay. Right now, we've all decided let's not ban Bayonetta. The decision came from, we feel like the other places that have banned her, like Spain, which only half of Spain have banned her. I believe Tampa Bay in Florida, I don't know where that is, and some place in Michigan, somewhere. Michigan, I think, also banned her, but I'm not sure about that. They all banned her on what I believe is a fair reason. I think there's always a reason to ban a character if it means your scene's gonna die. If it's the question of will I let my scene die, or will I let this one character play, I would choose to ban Bayonetta in a heartbeat. If it was the difference between my scene dying and having this one character. That being said, a lot of people who are calling for banning Bayonetta, I've never met them in person, but they, on Smash boards and such, they're all the people with like Los Angeles, California, or tri-state and like all these like other big areas, with like monthlies that are like 150 people each. So it's like there is no legitimate reason to ban Bayonetta, in my opinion, right now, besides if it means that she's killing off your scene. And I can see like reasons why she would be killing off a small scene, like a 20-player scene. I've seen the death of some of Victoria's like smaller scenes, not the death, but the slowing down of some of these scenes, like Geelong. It went from like average of 20 like Geelong players down to like 6. This wasn't because of Bayonetta, but more because of patch changes, and they all slowly fell off. Small things can have big effects on people wanting to come to events. So like they come to an event, and this is a scrub mentality, I agree it is, but like it's much harder to change the mentality of a mob than to just ban this character. I think you should always try and say like, hey guys, there is legitimate ways to beat Bayonetta. She is really hard, and she's especially really hard at a low level. I feel punishing anything she does is really hard at a low level, in my opinion at least. That's why I think a lot of lower level players get discouraged by her and would drop off. But right now, as it stands, we're Melbourne. We have 100 to 150 man monthlies. So like I think we're going pretty strong for like an Australian scene. So in my opinion, we don't need to ban Bayonetta for that decision. I will be banning Bayonetta in Australia if these two conditions happen. We go down to 20 man monthlies where the majority of the people dislike Bayonetta. I would do this just because I care more about the scene living than I care about the viability of Bayonetta, or like the ability to play her in tournament, because I think I've heard about some stories about the days before Smash 4, where we went down to like 20 man monthlies, which is honestly a bit scary for me. And I will do anything to preserve this thing, even if it means banning character, which I am completely against. I'm completely against banning characters on a how do I put this? I don't think banning the character is the right option like 99% of the time. I think, like looking back, I wasn't there during Brawl, so I don't know, but I feel like banning not Bayonetta, Meta Knight was the right decision, just because like he affected every level of play like detrimentally, and he was just like he had too many winning matchups. So there's either that, like we get really small, and we get really small, and we need to ban Bayonetta to have people stopping for leaving. So if we do get really small but everyone's fine with Bayonetta, and like we're getting at least some new players who are fine with Bayonetta, then I won't like ban Bayonetta. But if in like a year's time, and this goes for any character, not just Bayonetta, if Fox starts, I don't see Fox doing that because he has a lot of problems. If Fox or ZSS or any of these characters start maintaining, like at least 50%, no, sorry, not 50, it was 75% of like a top 16. Yeah, so that's what, it was 12 out of 16. If 12 out of 16 placings, or like around there, it doesn't have to be that exact, but like if he's like dominating placings, if that character is dominating placings like throughout the top 16 of American and Australian tournaments, then I will consider banning Bayonetta. Banning Bayonetta or any character for that matter. I think right now there aren't that many characters that do that. I feel like, even in my opinion, the best character right now, Rosa, has a lot of things you can do that just can just destroy her. Like if you play like well enough to always get rid of her Luma and really push your advantage when she's in that disadvantage, you can do a lot of good stuff to her. Like it's like she has a lot of really great, almost ridiculously strong stuff, but she also has a lot of ways that you can push her disadvantage. Like you can push the disadvantage really high. Her recovery's not that great. It is pretty good, like there's no doubt about it, but it doesn't have a hitbox. Luma can't act for most of it, although he can act for a bit of it, when I think it's when she's coming down. I feel like I don't feel like we're ever going to get to that stage where it's like, most of the placings in America and Australia are skewed and are mostly Bayonetta or Fox or Rosalina or ZSS or any of those characters. I think, in my opinion, they should have banned MK back in Brawl. I'm saying this as someone who entered the scene and only hears about Brawl from the Brawl vets in Melbourne. Obviously, Attila is one of those vets he was very much pro-ban for Meta Knight, so I'm probably a bit biased by Attila's words, but I honestly really feel like if a character is like dominating and has like no losing matchups and like is making the game not unfun, because I think versing Bayonetta is really not all that exciting. I think that like if she makes, or any character makes, the game sort of like a trudge like that, then it would be healthier if we ban those characters. And if I were to ever do Brawl tournaments, I would definitely have a Meta Knight ban in place and possibly an ICs ban, but I'm not even like 1/100th of like knowledgeable about that game to even make a decision like that. I would be asking the Brawl vets and what they think and what they feel, and the people who are actually going to be entering Brawl. So that's basically it. I think a ban is a really big decision to make, especially like right now in the meta, just because like, I mean, Bayonetta isn't even winning tournaments. I mean, she's won a few in Japan, but like, Sumabato 9, I think it was. Top 2 was Sonic and Olimar, I think. Olimar Corrin. But I think he used Olimar in the grand finals, I'm not sure. Like, people are saying, ban Bayonetta, ban this, ban that, but like, where are her placings? Like, where are they? There are a lot of like low level players who beat players that are obviously better than them, but those low-level players still deserve those wins. Like, I lost to a 13-year-old Bayonetta called Haiku. Shoutouts if you're watching this, Haiku. I lost, and I consider myself a better player than him, but he played that much better than I did. He won. Like, he pushed my disadvantages, and I didn't push his. Yeah, he completely deserves that win because I didn't play right. I played badly. That's because I didn't punish any of the stuff she did. And I feel like people are like, oh, but these low-level players, I'm so much better than them. You know, I'm so much better, I should have won that. When it's like, it doesn't matter if a low-level player can beat someone who's better than them. It really actually doesn't. You know, because the way you verse Bayonetta and the way you verse everyone else is totally different. And if you think that, like, it's unfair that at a low level these people get propped up by their character and that's a reason to ban her at all levels of play, I think you need to think about your ego and, like, and the way you feel about, like, winning and losing, because these people who are beating these good players, like these low-level players that are being these good players, not good players, like, it's usually like mid-level players who don't have a complete grasp of neutral or like a completely like strong punish game or anything like that. It's usually the mid-level players who are like good and they do what they do well, but you know, if they don't know how to play a matchup, they will lose, and it's very easy for Bayonetta to do that. And yeah, I don't think that they're coming at it with the right mindset. They think, oh, these people are winning. These people are winning because they've picked up this character. But no, they're winning because you're not punishing her for anything. It is very hard to punish her, but it's possible. And, you know, people just need to really push those, you know, like, push it. You can't just, like, get away with your usual punishes on Bayonetta. You really got to, like, anti-air her, which is not what I did at all against Haiku. You need to anti-air her, like, and, you know, really play a strong mental game. It's hard, and I think it's a lot harder to play Bayonetta, like a random Bayonetta, than it is to play any other random, you know, player. You just got to remember that, like, banning a character isn't based on how easy it is to use them, you know. It's based on, like, how strong options that character has, you know, like yeah, like, Sheikah's really, not really easy in melee, but, like, she has really simple tools that are really effective, but she's not the best, because her options are usually outclassed by Fox, who has, like, all these crazy options, and, like, can play super safe, and just rack on damage, you know. He's definitely not the easiest character, but he has the strongest options. It's not about the strongest, like, how easy in correlation is to their options. It's just how strong their options are, because eventually we will get to the point where everyone is like a god, and, like, it's all about how good your options are, not how easy they are to execute, because that stuff only really affects the mid-level players, because it's like, well, I can't execute these things, you know, so why do these people get to execute these things and get bigger wins? Well, maybe you should just learn to execute better and play like Bayonetta, you know. Like, you don't get away with complaining about how easy something is. It's about how good their options are. So that's basically it. I'm not banning Bayonetta, but I'm going to be looking at the character, keep my eyes on her, seeing, like, where her going, like, what her placings are like. Right now her placings are good because, like, a lot of people like Pink Fresh, I know Salem's come back and he's taken some big names. 9B's been doing good stuff, but I think no, that was and Kumari Kiri. 9B and Kumari Kiri have been doing some good stuff, but I mean, a lot of people consider 9B the best Bayonetta in the world, and he just got 9th at Sumabato. Lost to Earth's girlfriend. Fiance, actually. I can't remember who she plays, but it was someone bad. She plays like a bad character. So it's like, where are her, like, ridiculous placings? Like, you really got to think about it in a logical way, and not like not egotistical, but more like emotionally fueled way. So yeah, that's why I want people to take away from this. Just look at her placings and the way she plays, and how she affects all levels of play, and really consider if a ban is necessary based on those sort of things. Anyway, this is Pudge, and I'll be signing off. Catch ya.